Hello, and welcome back to another video. So UFC 6 has flow state. You know, the thing everybody's complaining about? That thing where your fighter looks like he has superpowers for a second? Yeah, that thing. But the thing is, flow state can make or break a fight. So today I'm giving you a full guide on flow state so that you can take your fighting strategy to the next level. But first things first, let's discuss what flow state actually is. Flow state is a 3-layer momentum system where each fighter is assigned passive perks and one activated ability from a pool of 30, all tied to that fighter's real-world tendencies. Now what that actually means is, fighters can have up to 5 perks, and each of those perks have a passive ability that benefits the fighter, and they also have a separate trigger or charge, if you will. It's basically a task that once achieved, it slightly fills up your flow state meter. Every time you do it, you get a little more filled up until you can activate the flow state. So with that being said, this video is going to explain each perk's passive ability, the tasks you need to do to fill your flow state meter, and the actual benefits of the flow state. So buckle up, buckaroo, we got a ton of information to cover. But seriously though, we're about to talk about literally every single perk and how to use them effectively. So each perk falls within one of 3 categories: stand up, health, and grappling. And each of those perks have a flow boost, which are the specific things that you can do during a fight to fill up your flow state meter. Once your flow state meter is full, then voila, you can activate flow state by pushing down on the D-pad. Flow state is that temporary boost to a fighter's stats. Each perk has its own unique flow state benefit. Alright, hopefully that all makes sense. Now let's discuss each perk and their respective flow boosts and state. One thing we need to mention is, every fighter has only one designated perk for flow state. So you want to pay attention to the designated flow state perk on the fighter you're using. So let's start with grappling perk. Now it goes without saying, the passive abilities, flow boosts, and flow states are all tied to benefiting your grappling game during a fight. The first perk we have is Escapist, and the passive ability is stronger submission defense from top position. Now the flow boost is going to be denying any type of submission entry like this. And if this is your main perk that you use for flow state, then the flow state benefit is faster transitions from all top guard positions and as the defender in submission. So the next perk is Quicksand, and the passive ability is easier denials from bottom positions. The flow boost is performing any sweep like this, and the flow state is faster grappling actions from bottom positions or advanced top positions like this. The next perk is Springloaded, and the passive ability is faster get-ups. The flow boost is successful get-ups immediately after denying a transition, like this. And the flow state is improves get-ups, muscle-modified transitions, and the ability to cause health events, like this. The next perk is Anvil, and the passive ability is easier denials from top position. The flow boost is hitting the opponent twice within a short time during postured ground and pound, like this. And the flow state is improves ground and pound duration, power, and stamina cost, like this. The next perk is Electric Eel, and the passive ability is better takedown defense and clinch escapes. The flow boost is denying a clinch entry or reversing a takedown, like this. The flow state is improves takedown defense and increases the power of stand-up and clinch strikes, like this. The next perk is Shackles, and the passive ability is better clinch control, clinch strikes, and takedowns from dominant clinch positions. The flow boost is clinching an opponent shortly after evading a strike, like this. And the flow state is improved clinch control, clinch striking, and bails from takedowns to clinch, like this. The next perk is Last Stand, and the passive ability is stronger submission defense from bottom positions. The flow boost is escaping any submission excluding desperate escapes, like this. And the flow state is increasing stamina recovery on the ground, regenerates the submission meter, and reduces damage to it, like this. The next perk is Kraken, and the passive ability is better takedowns from the stand-up. The flow boost is performing a takedown shortly after the opponent misses a strike like this, and the flow state is enhances all takedowns and slows the opponent's stamina recovery when you have top position like this. And the final grappling perk is Checkmate, and the passive ability is stronger submission offense. The flow boost is deep submissions, attacker submission transitions, or submission chain like this. And the flow state is speeds up submission attacks, increases submission meter drain, and applies harsher penalties on deep submissions like this. So let's move on to the health perks. Once again, it goes without saying, these perks are going to benefit a fighter's health one way or another, whether that's actual stuns, wobbles, stamina, things of that sort. So the first perk is Groundskeeper, and the passive ability is actions in the ground game spend less stamina. The flow boost is performing 2 successful ground transitions within a short time, except instant transitions like this. The flow state decreases the stamina cost of actions in the ground game and ground and pound, like this. The next perk is Grizzly, and the passive ability is clinch and takedown actions spend less stamina. The flow boost is when either fighter performs a takedown scramble, like this. The flow state is lower stamina cost for takedowns in any clinch action, and higher cost to opponent clinch escapes and scrambles, like this. The next perk is Titan, and the passive ability is resistance to stuns when having more health than the opponent. The flow boost is hitting the opponent while suffering from a health event or shortly after it, like this. And the flow state is deal more damage shortly after being hit or when either fighter is in a health event, like this. The next perk is Unbreakable, and the passive ability is more resistance to stuns when having less health than the opponent. The flow boost is mitigating damage with sways or lunges in the stand-up, like this. And the flow state is just taking less damage, like this. The next perk is Revenant, and the passive ability is recover more health between rounds. The flow boost is hitting the opponent when your own health is low, except in the tight ground game, like this. And the flow state is faster health recovery, like this. The next perk is Phoenix, and the passive ability is faster recovery from stuns. The flow boost is surviving a stun without being knocked down, like this. And the flow state is it increases health and stamina recovery in the stand-up and greatly reduces the duration of stuns, like this. The next perk is Hot-Blooded, and the passive ability is stand-up strikes spend less stamina in rounds 1 and 2. The flow boost is hitting the opponent with the 4th strike of a combo, like this. And the flow state is strikes in the stand-up cost less stamina, like this. The final health perk is Perpetual, and the passive ability is stand-up strikes spend less stamina in rounds 3 to 5. The flow boost is hitting the opponent while having a significant stamina advantage, like this. And the flow state is it increases stamina recovery in the stand-up, like this. Alright, let's move on to striking perks. The first perk is Reaper, and the passive ability is round kicks like horizontal kicks that don't spin are more powerful and accurate. The flow boost is hitting the opponent with a round kick from long range and while they're retreating, like this. The flow state is round kicks deal more damage and are better at causing health events, like this. The next perk is Lancer, and the passive ability is frontal kicks like front, side, axe kicks, etc. are more powerful and accurate. The flow boost is hitting the opponent with a frontal kick as they strike, like this. and the flow state is frontal kicks deal more damage and are better at causing health events like this. The next perk is Spectre, and the passive ability is reduced damage taken while swaying when walking backwards or sideways. The flow boost is evading 2 attacks with sways within a short time like this. And the flow state is decreases the cost of evasive actions and increases damage for a short time after successful evasions like this. The next perk is Bonesaw, and the passive ability is elbows and knees are more powerful and accurate in the stand-up. The flow boost is hitting the opponent with 2 elbows or knees in the stand-up within a short time like this. And the flow state is higher damage and cut or swelling damage from elbows and knees like this. The next perk is Stinger, and the passive ability is straight punches are more powerful and accurate. The flow boost is hitting the opponent from long range with a straight punch as they strike like this. And the flow state is straight punches deal more damage and are better at causing health events like this. The next perk is the classic Max Holloway perk, Point Down. The passive ability is punches thrown from sways are more powerful. The flow boost is evading a strike with a sway immediately after throwing a punch like this. And the flow state is it improves advancing footwork, power, and stamina efficiency. The opponent can taunt back to gain a portion of the same benefits like this. So the next perk is Tank, and the passive ability is stronger block when standing or advancing. The flow boost is hitting the opponent's head quickly after a successful block like this. And the flow state is all stand-up strikes deal more damage a short time after blocking, even when not used as counters like this. The next perk is Bulwark. The passive ability is improved blocking while retreating or circling. The flow boost is evading a strike when the block meter is low like this. And the flow state is instantly fill the block meter and take less block damage and less damage to the body and legs like this. The next perk is Featherstep, and the passive ability is better footwork when retreating. The flow boost is hitting the opponent quickly after evading with a lunge like this. And the flow state is strikes deal more damage from long range like this. The next perk is Like Water, and the passive ability is reduce damage taken while evading with head movement. Flow boost is landing strikes coming out of head movement after evading a strike like this. And the flow state is it increases the damage of attacks from sways even when not using them as counters like this. The next perk is Spindrift, and the passive ability is spinning kicks are more powerful and accurate. The flow boost is hitting the opponent with a spinning kick when they have low stamina like this. The flow state is spinning kicks deal more damage and are better at causing health events like this. And for a tip, to fool your opponents, you can activate flow state mid-spin kick to deal way more damage. The next perk is Tiger, and the passive ability is curved punches like hooks, uppercuts, etc. are more powerful and accurate. The flow boost is hitting opponents with a curved punch when they're vulnerable due to an evasive action like this. And the flow state is curved punches deal more damage and are better at causing health events like this. The last perk is Hunter, and the passive ability is better footwork when advancing or moving sideways. The flow boost is hitting the opponent when their back is against the fence like this. And the flow state is it improves advancing footwork and increases damage when the opponent is against the fence like this. Alright my friends, I hope this helps. I think this is kind of more of a tutorial for people just new to the UFC games in general that are really starting to pick things up for the first time. But overall, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye.